Hi, and welcome to Happy Fisherman Adventures.
I hope, I dream, I wish to catch a big fish, and I do it when I can. I'm a happy fisherman, and I do it when I can. I'm a happy fisherman.
Well, this episode we're going to start with me damaging my gaff.
Lucky, because it could have been way worse. So guys, please be careful out there. At this time of the year with all the floods, there is so much debris floating in the water.
There's heaps of rubbish. So this time we actually spotted this orange thing, which is a road barrier, and she was floating around. It actually, you can see by my gaff, it weighed a ton. I actually damaged my rib, had some bloody hands, but we managed to get it out of there.
Imagine if you hit it at 30-40 kilometers an hour at night.
Game over.
Let's watch the next video.
Well, we are in Altona, and this time the plan was to scan around this area all the way to P2 and see if we can find and hook some snapper. It was just before lunch and the game was on. Slowly we made our way to P2, and here the sounder showed some bite fish. Nothing exciting, but we decided to give it a try. We set up everything, but for us, donuts. Nothing. So plan B was to go a bit more shallow. As we got close to Altona Reef, we spotted an object floating in the water. It was orange, and at first me must say looks like a kayak. I slowly approached it, and it was a rod barrier. That thing is very dangerous as it's very heavy. So I hooked it with the gaff and I dragged it towards me. Mima had the rope ready, so we're gonna tie it up and obviously try to tow it in back to the boat ramp. It was a bit of a challenge to put a rope over that stupid thing because there was nothing to hook it onto, just a little lever. So after a few attempts I managed, and then slowly we start dragging the thing back to the boat ramp. Somehow it was pulling to the right, and it was going underwater, on top of the water, and by doing that the rope managed to damage my ladder. Then from bad to worse. As we got close to the ramp, it managed to rip my ski rope. After that, it was a mission to try to hook it up again and try to bring it in. I even managed to damage my hand, bruise my rib, damage my gaff, all sorts of things. We didn't film that as we were in a bit of a panic mode, but we managed to secure and bring the thing inside the harbour. Here we had a Greenville Fishing Club member that spotted what we're up to, and he ran to give us a hand. We managed to secure this thing in between the rock wall and the east platform, and then Mima called the Hobson Bay Council to come and deal with it. Well, happy days.
Well, now something a little bit different. The early snapper season normally starts in Westernport and then it comes to Port Phillip Bay.
Before snapper fires up in Port Phillip Bay, Westernport people already catching some snapper there. And this time we in front of Rill, in about 12 meters of water or something. And beside me, Mima and Jerry, I had my son Jordan. And we got actually a few fish.
We did. We had a mixed platter from gummy, snapper, yakka, barracuda, basically.
Just about everything. And all the rubbish fish,
And
like
all the rubbish.
banjo and Port Jackson shark and all that sort of stuff.
Let's watch the video.
Well, in this video we are in Westernport. We are just in front of Rill in 15 meters of water and there were few boats in this area already. As we set up, the action started. First, Mima was on nice yellowtail scat. Then my son Jordan started hooking some big barracuda. Then we start getting all sort of unwanted fish, like banjos or big skites and all that kind of stuff. Soon Jordan was on a gummy. A bit small, but for him that was a lot of excitement. As we landed the gummy, one of the other rods just screamed off. This time Mima was on a nice fish. By the head shakes, we knew it's a snapper, so everyone was excited to land our big first red for the season. After quite a few runs, my son Jordan grabbed the net and no long we had our first red in the net. It was a very nice fish. While we were taking few pictures, Jordan was on another one. This one was a little bit smaller, but still nice fish. Then, in no time, Jerry, who was sleeping all this time in the cabin, had a nice fish on. Again, in no time, the fish was close to the boat. Jordan took the landing net and we landed another beautiful snapper. Jerry could not wipe the smile off his face. Pretty quick, that snapper run stopped and then Kuda was back. Well, that was it from this adventure.
In the next video, it's really nothing very exciting. We're just going to show you what happens around this time of the year at Mud Island.
Yeah, October is not actually just snapper comes in. At Mud Island there is heaps of gurnet, and I tell you what, be careful.
This time we are on the way to Mud Island. Here we fish the edge of Pinay's channel and roughly the depth is about 11 meters. Because the tide is running quite strong, I had to attach a sliding sinker to my rig so the bait stays on the bottom. To do that, I have just an ordinary swivel on my main line, and that was my sliding rig. As you can see, the sky was clear and we could not ask for better weather. After I had all my rods in the water, I set up my belly bucket camera and yeah, the game was on. While I was doing that, Mima hooked a gurnet. Now there is lots of gurnets at this time of the year here, and I can tell you, if it's properly prepared, it's really nice to eat. But if you get stabbed or even small scratch by gurnet, be prepared to suffer for a week. Some people even faint from the pain that this thing can cause. That's why my mine hooks lately are all circle hooks. They don't usually swallow them, they only get jabbed in the jaw, and yeah, it's easy to get rid of them. Beside gurnet, there was quite a few small flatties around, Port Jackson shark, banjo, and all other untargeted species. Unfortunately, at Mud Island, we have to deal with all of them while we're waiting for a gummy shark to turn up. Sometimes flatties and other stuff make it so difficult to fish, so after a while we just give up and go and find a new spot.
Guys, sometimes you should really just listen to us. Take your kids, your parents, your grandparents, and go out on the water and have some fun.
Actually, nothing beats the smile and the excitement when they catch a fish, and that is priceless.
This is another day in October, and this time with us we had Mima's nephew Emin. Now keep in mind, it's totally okay for an unlicensed person to drive the boat as long as you're on board. Of course, you need to have a license. So yes, your kid, your wife can drive the boat anytime as long as you're there. It is good to train kids while they're young. We stopped at Prince George to get a couple of squid for fresh bite. We also had our little chico with us and everyone was happy. So we started. Black jig did most of the damage. After getting few squid, we were on the way to St. Leonard's. This time another happy fisherman was catching up with us. Will was fishing the wreck in the morning with no success, so he joined us for our King George whiting mission. As we got at St. Leonard's, there was not much action at all, but just before sunset started. Our goal was to get Emin to catch a King George whiting, and he finally got one. Seeing kids happy and smile, it's priceless. We did manage a few more that day, but it was very difficult to fish as there were millions of undersized pinkies pinching our bite. All in all, Emin had quite a bit of fun, and that only matters.
In the next video, you're going to get to feel what else you can catch around this time of the year.
Yeah, we actually got some really good underwater footage, so enjoy.
This time we are on north side of the mud island in 20 meters of water. I started to film how I set up my leader with ready circle hooks, and in meantime we had a bit of inquiry. This is the real-time footage of what was going on just underneath my boat. A Avenger shark gets pushed away by this 7-gill shark, and then the 7-giller start inspecting my burley bucket. Few times she passed by the loaded hook and showed no interest. Then she decides to come back and take it. The rod I had was quite light for this size fish, so I had a nice battle on my hands. The trick was not to put too much pressure on the fish, but slowly getting the fish tired. After about 20 minutes, we had the fish on the surface. We seen it, touched the leader, cut the line, and let her go. One thing to remember, if you want to land a 7-gill, don't grab it by the tail and think you're safe. They can bend all the way and bite you. Well, we let her go and we left the area, went straight to St. Leonard's to get few King George whiting. That was definitely much easier and still lots of fun.
Well, we had an amazing weekend at the Melbourne Boat Show. We met some really cool and nice people like Lee Rayner, Michelle Britton, Matt Sini, Mark Berg.
Yeah, you name it. Everybody was there. And actually, it was a really cool atmosphere. It wasn't about fishing only, so you didn't have any fishing gear, and unfortunately, nothing like that. It was all about boats. But we had our stage presentation Friday, talking, of course, fishing, and everybody else on the main stage was talking about fishing or cooking. We had our podcast with the boys from Wind Against Tide, which they're awesome boys. So have a look, just check them out. It's a podcast and it's called Wind Against Tide, and they got their own YouTube channel. These boys do amazing work.
They're contributing really a lot to the fishing community.
No, they're just amazing.
And they're really fun, cool guys.
And to be honest, we were on podcast, and Mark Berg was on podcast, and he was talking about Happy Fisherman, which make us feel proud. And they were singing our song on his podcast. And he said that he can't wait to come back and do an episode with Happy Fisherman. So.
And to be honest, I can't wait for him to do this.
It was nice. Beside that, you could see some really nice ideas. I was at Geelong Marine World stand representing Suzuki and Ital boats, but I can say there was heaps of other stuff like offshore boats. They were amazing with all the ideas with the beds pull out. There was Nautic Marine, there was Stabbycraft, there was Whitley, there was Sportsman. That's just awesome boat. If you want to do top water casting and that boat is just a brilliant idea.
Let's watch the next video.
And I do it when I can. I'm a happy fisherman.
Thank you.
Well, before we go, I would like to thank everyone that actually purchased our t-shirts. You still can get them at Mick at Hooked On by Tentacle. You can get them at Geelong Marine World. And thank you for your support.
And thank you for watching, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Cheers.
I hope, I dream, I wish to catch a big fish. And I do it